We've got some pretty big news with a $500 million deal involving XRP, Ripple, plus Michael Saylor's Strategies. Michael Saylor bought some more Bitcoin despite all of the FUD. That's something that we've been talking about a lot on the show. Will strategy collapse? And I know I call it MicroStrategy, but I can't really help it because it is what it is. Just like Polygon Matic, it's still really hard for me to call it Polygon because when I was coming up in the scene, it was Matic. But anyways, we're going to get into everything on the O Show live. Thank you guys for showing up. Welcome back. I'm Wendy O. I talk everything crypto every single day. Like this video, subscribe, share it, drop me a comment because I read them all. And of course, good morning to TikTok, to YouTube, to X, to Rumble, to Twitch, and I'm going to give the channel members a shout out in a second. But we're also going to be talking about privacy too, because there's a lot of privacy stories coming out, which again are incredibly important. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Samurai wallet case or not, but basically the dev just created a really dope some privacy code, and people don't like it. Of course, the public servants don't like it. Of course, they're going to go after them, and of course, they're just going to continue to act unjustly, which is not good. And it's not good because it impacts the whole entire industry as a negative. Because code is speech, and it should be treated as such. Just because you create something doesn't mean, just because you create something and somebody decides to do something bad with it doesn't mean that you should be in trouble for it. Because I could get this pen and I could whap you, I could bop you. And then you go get mad at the papermate company? These are expensive, by the way. They're my favorite pens, the only ones that I'll use. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back to it. Shout out to Ireland. What is your guys' native food that you have there? What's your food? Like, what kind of food you guys have? I want to know. Anyways, let's get into it. First, taking a look at the market. Zcash is up, Dash is up, both privacy coins. Market's kind of just doing its thing. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And that's just kind of going sideways at the moment, waiting for the Fed interest rates or the Fed interest rates update. We should be hearing from that on the 9th or the 10th, whether they're going to leave them unchanged or they're going to lower them, which they probably should lower them. To be honest with you, I'm going to be really real with you. I don't care. I do not care what they do with the interest rates. I don't. I really, really, really don't. I do think that they can create, like if Freddie Mae and Fannie Mac and whomever, I don't understand why they can't just create 2% interest rates for homes for just single family members. Like if you're a person like me, if I want to go buy a home and it's my primary residence, it should be 2%. Then if I go sell that residence, the new house I buy, 2%. The primary residence. So I don't understand why they don't do that. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into it. I know it's been actually going to have this today. I'm having a really, 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 really hard time mentally today. I'm just like all over the place. I know it's crazy. Anyways, let's get into it. That's fine. All right. So first story. This is a tic-tac story for ticky-tacky over here. Wall Street hedged big crypto bet in $500 million Ripple deal. Ripple is one of those projects. I know I've gone back and forth with the XRP army for a very, very long time. Again, XRP to me and Ripple, they're bankers. It's banker stuff. Okay. And that's not a bad thing. It just, I think that XRPL is decentralized, just like, to industry standards, but Ripple is not, XRP is not. I don't necessarily think it is, but I'm not going to fade it because I'm here to make money. And I also think that people that are holding XRP have done incredibly well and have outperformed a lot of people on CryptoX, just my opinion. But this story over here is important. And a lot of people decided to fade Ripple and XRP and what they are doing, even though they are going to really kind of transform the traditional financial industry. Okay. Which is good to an extent. I mean, we're not going to be able to beat it, so join them. So November, Ripple raised $500 million in strategic investment at $40 billion with a major Wall Street investor, including Citadel and Fortress. And the latest update is that investors receive special protections. Of course they did. This includes the right to sell shares back to Ripple after 3 to 4 years with guaranteed 10% annual return. Isn't that nice? And this is what I'm talking about. When I talk about the unjust behavior with traditional finance and with retail, that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. And again, I'm happy for Ripple. I'm happy for the people that are getting paid. But my issue is retail investors should be able to get special privileges like this. Just because we don't have billions of dollars in capital doesn't mean we should be excluded. That's just my personal opinion. But I like to see people do well if they work hard. And I mean, a lot of people last week were pissed off about the South Korea test, basically that if you take an hour test and you can show you're financially literate, competent, whatever, you can do things. I think that should happen in the USA. But anyways, again, this includes the right to sell shares back to Ripple after 3 to 4 years with a guaranteed 10% annual return. And if Ripple chooses to buy back the shares instead, it must pay investors a 25% annual return. The deal also includes liquidation preference, giving new investors priority if Ripple is sold or goes bankrupt. This is dope. We should have, these are the type of protections retail should get. Want to build that generational wealth, baby. And this is funny. The reason why it's funny is because there's some FUD stories coming out. So this came out from CoinDesk. This actually came out on the 5th. XRP faces downside risk as social sentiment turns wildly negative. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that. I don't know where they're pulling their social data from. It says from Santiment. I don't know if Santiment pulls from X, because this is the thing. I got big on crypto X first, or crypto Twitter first, and then I was able to create other socials with the large followings. We're at 1.2 million globally. Thank you so much, everybody. But this is the thing that's not accurate stuff. And again, I don't know exactly where they're pulling their data from, but crypto Twitter, crypto X is not accurate market sentiment, because it's a very, very small echo chamber in the broader picture. Because I'm seeing a lot of positive connotation about Ripple XRP on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram. My views are all-time high on Facebook. I think we're at 5.2 million views just on Facebook. And a lot of people like the XRP content. Sentiment is still bullish with it. That's just my personal opinion. That's what I'm seeing. And this is real data. This is real data that I'm able to show you. So I just like to see where Sentiment is pulling that, just in my opinion. So got some XRP FUD pieces, but that happens. It happened with Michael Saylor too. It happened with Strategy too. And then, they came out again this morning, Mr. Brad Garlinghouse. It's so funny the way that he typed this out. But 4 weeks and XRP is now the fastest crypto spot ETF to reach 1 billion in AUM in the US. Okay, in the US. There were 40 crypto ETFs launched this year, and in the US alone, a few points were obvious to me. So Brad Garlinghouse came out and, gave a little bit of a talk about stuff. But basically, he kind of just talked about the XRP spot ETF and that it's the fastest crypto spot ETF to reach 1 billion in assets under management since Ethereum in the US, which is important. And this is incredibly important primarily because Ethereum is Wall Street's chosen one. We've talked about that. And RLUSD is on top of the stablecoin is on top, or RLUSD is on top of RLUSD. I'm not showing up on, am I live on X? Because I'm not showing up on the live on X. Oh, here I am. I'm all the way down here. I don't know why. I don't like that. Why are we down here? We need to be up. We need to be up, up, up. First day this happened. I don't like it. Fix your algo, X. I've got a big problem with X's algorithm. I really, really do. Anyways, Ripple's RLUSD on Ethereum continues to climb, currently $1.1 billion market cap. And this is going to be something that is going to, it's going to surprise people in the long run. And crypto Twitter will be like, I faded XRP. And that's what's going to happen. And that's okay. But it is what it is. And it's just because I'm on every single freaking platform and I see who's interested in what. Okay. So there's that. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to our channel members. I'm actually really hungry right now and having a hard time concentrating. So good morning to Lawrence. Lawrence, wait for an email. I'm going to be sending you an email. So watch for that. Thank you so much. And I was all hunched over in the UFC pick for VeChain, which I have an update. I'm going to be announcing something with VeChain soon, and it's going to be in relation to the self-care lab. So watch for that, please. It's going to be incredibly important that you guys pay attention. In addition to that, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, Lawrence. But the UFC fight was fun. I like fighting. I'm more of a boxer because I've been doing it for so long, but I like the UFC stuff. And I got to interview a UFC fighter too. I'll have more on that later. But good morning to Mike, to Lawrence, to Dale, to Mr. R, to John Legend, to Mr. D, to Gumby, to Queen, to Everett. Hey, Everett, thanks for being here. Scott, thanks for being here, Scott. Mr. R, we said hi. Let's see. Just want to make sure I get everyone. Altcoin Alpha, Mr. Callie, Mr. Legend. Where is John Germain? Where is he? We don't know. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back to it. I got a lot of stuff to take care of today. I'm so excited to be home. But that's really what's going on with XRP and with Ripple and what they're doing. And again, I feel like it's going to be they're gonna outperform a lot of things and a lot of companies, in my personal opinion. Now, Ethereum, we've got some Ethereum stuff. So Ethereum supply squeeze looms, with exchanges holding lowest levels since 2015. So this is a story that came out on Cointelegraph hold on. They want me to check my comment section on, if you guys are on X, I'll check my comment section, but I mean, I'm really giving primary attention to people that give super chats and people that are part of the O Army. That's going to be important because, you know, everybody's got to earn a living. So let's see what the comments are over here. I don't see what the comments are, but anyways, thank you. All right, let's go back into it. See, you guys are distracting me. I think this is not a very important story though, but basically it's saying Ethereum on exchanges has dropped 8.7%, lowest level since 2015, creating a potential supply squeeze. Basically, when we talk about a supply squeeze, first off, Ethereum, it's an asset that's stakeable. When we're talking about staking it, that's kind of like an infinite supply too. So is there a supply squeeze? It could be. Is it going to cause a number to go up? It's supposed to, yeah. But we're waiting to see that happen with Bitcoin too and some of the other assets. So I think that will happen eventually. And I think Tom Lee bought more Ethereum today too. I think that will happen eventually, but it's going to take time, especially with all the ETF stuff. And the reason why it's probably less Ethereum on exchanges is because of the crypto spot ETFs, because to meet that demand, you really, not every crypto is stakeable. It's not. It's not. No, it's not. Those are POS. Proof of work works differently. You have to mine for it. So we'll see what happens with that. And big news for Hedera. This is really exciting. I love to see it. But 24/7 capital markets powered by Hedera. So ARCX in these two regions over here, regulated digital asset exchange, carried out the first out of hours on-chain transaction of the Canary Fund's HBAR ETF. And this is pretty massive. The reason why this is important is we're going to see a lot of markets be tokenized and move 24/7, not 365, but we're going to see this happen. And that's possible because of crypto, because of blockchain. And Hedera is essentially leading the way with that. I don't think people really understand how important it is. And the fact that we already have an HBAR spot ETF and ARCX tokenized it and was on the Hedera network and then allowed people to trade after hours, off hours, that's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. If you guys don't know, ARCX is a UE-regulated digital asset exchange platform that lets financial products trade on chain, and I think it's good stuff. And that in combination with Chainlink, those are projects that I do like a lot. But Chainlink went ahead and posted their adoption update, which is wonderful. And there's 12 new integrations in the Chainlink standard last week, spread across 6 services and 12 chains. It includes Base, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, Ton, Tron, BNB chain, and more. And again, Chainlink is an oracle, so it pretty much connects everyone together and brings proper data feeds. And this is going to be incredibly important with 24/5 trading, tokenized trading, and with things essentially moving over to blockchain tokenization, aka. What 21 share spot ETF? There's multiple ones, so I need to know which one you're referring to. Next over here. This guy over here from Van Eck is talking about, Matthew Siegel is talking about from Bernstein's. This is what he's talking about. Is this the right thing? Is this the right one? But basically, a Bernstein analyst says the 4-year Bitcoin cycle is broken, but they believe they're now in an elongated bull cycle fueled by institutional buying. 2026 Bitcoin price target raised to 150,000. Cycle peak expected in 2027 at 200,000, and long-term 2023 target on $1 million. I think that makes sense. And I like it. I think it makes sense. But at this point, I feel like a lot of us that have been in crypto, we're just kind of watching. We're just kind of watching things, and our bags are loaded. We're just kind of holding. We're actually looking at a lot of these things as more as long-term investments, just like we would like our 401ks. That's what I personally think. But some people that are actively trading, they're paying a little bit more attention. In addition to that, there's people that, that are still using a lot of the different ecosystems, which is going to be incredibly important. And I dropped a video for you guys over the week on what crypto projects that I'm paying attention to long-term, that I don't mind holding long-term. Obviously, stuff like Hedera, Chainlink, things that will be spot ETFs, XRP and Ethereum and Solana and all of that, but also to tools that your crypto projects that actually have real platforms that work, that you can use. because it was announced earlier today that Farcaster, which everyone's like, oh my God, it's going to be the next social media app, blah, blah, blah. And when I was pitched that, because I think who did I talk to? I was at a party, at a crypto party. My feet probably smell good. They probably do. They actually do. But you need to pay $1 million. Actually, you can pay $2 million of Bitcoin to smell my feet. And my guys are going to be there in the same room watching you. And they're not nice. But when somebody first pitched me Farcast, they're like, oh my God, we have this really great product, social media stuff. A lot of these people that are building things, they're not building for the actual people. They are not building for the actual people. They're not building for anybody other than their circle. And the reason why is because there's this big old circle jerk happening. In addition to that, they're not building for the actual masses. It's like there's this really, really big disconnect, and it's weird. It's like a weird thing. I don't know. It's all kinds of stuff happening. So I don't know. There's going to be a lot of crypto projects that are going away if they don't have really good institutional, if they're not dialed into the institutions, or shout out to Sparkwater, or they do not have products that actually work, they're going away. Why is Solana posting 589? Because they're trolls. Because they're trolling. That's why they're doing it for engagement. This is how marketing works. So it makes perfect sense that they're posting 589. They're kind of building off of that whole XRP thing. Because I want to say there was this big discourse that happened between Solana and XRP, which I stay out of all the ghetto drama that happens on X. There was some about girls this weekend. I'm just like, some of you have clearly never read Parachute Woman or anything from Janice Dickinson or any of that type of stuff. Like, I don't know. I try to stay out of a lot of that discourse because I'm a grown woman. I don't have time. But they're probably just trolling, and it's all for fun. It's good because it brings exposure to XRP. It brings exposure to Solana. But when we're talking about real world products, I'm going to cover charts in a little bit. Just stick with me here. Brave is one that I always love to bring up. And the reason why is because they actually have a browser. This is a crypto-based project that has a product that works. They have a browser, a privacy browser, because privacy coins are hot, okay? And with that being said, you can use it. And then when you search and use it, you earn BAT, their native token. They've got private search, built-in AI assistant, VPN. I am partnered with Brave. The partnership, the way that it works is that we shill each other. And I think it's a great tool. I absolutely love it. Privacy is incredibly, incredibly important. And they also announced, we've got the QR code up there and the link down there if you want to sign up with me. If not, that's your business. But they also announced a new product launch. And it's going to be Near AI Cloud and Private Chat, two products that offer hardware-backed verifiable privacy and are built around one simple yet principle, which is super, super cool. So this was something that was announced. Let me go ahead and pull up my little notey notes over here. Sorry, I'm like all over the darn place today. But Near Protocol is working with Brave for verifiable private AI with its Near AI Cloud. And again, it makes sense. And it's nice to see Near in the news again. Leo is Brave Browser's AI assistant that helps users search, summarize, and interact with content directly in the browser. And the integration with Near AI Cloud brings verifiable private AI directly into the browser for early testers and devs. So if you want to use it, great. And Brave is a free tool. If you're not using it, you're doing crypto wrong. So shout out to them. But let's go ahead and take a look at the charts because I haven't really updated like the charts to see what's going on over there. Yeah, I'm more of a striker too, Lawrence. I've been boxing for a very, very long time. My dad owned a Kung Fu studio and was doing it for a really, really, really long time. And I like Kung Fu a little bit better, primarily because you let people come and strike you and then you respond. But it also takes a lot of discipline too, because I'm not like that disciplined. And shout out to the 200 of you watching on Tiki Taki. Love you guys. All right. So this is what's happened with Bitcoin. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. We, especially on the weekly. So on the weekly, what we did, hold on a second. On the weekly, what we did, oh my God, that was last week? What the heck? Yesterday, 90,000. We had a swing wick high of 94, a swing wick low at 84, and now we're just kind of going sideways. So we didn't have a lot of price action last week. And I think one of the reasons why we didn't have a lot of price action last week was because interest rates are coming. So we're going to kind of see what's happening with that. But really, it's just kind of, it is really monitoring the situation. Hopefully we did create the local bottom and we get this really bullish, crazy price action next year. Ethereum is at $3,100, holding on to 2,900 support. Solana is not at 589. It's not, but it is at 135. And it's also consolidating and moving sideways. And generally when you get these sideways actions, you get a nice contraction and a pounce, some volatile movement. All right. I'm taking a look at XRP. We're holding above $2, doing its thing. We're in a downtrend. And generally when these happen, I think they're called descending triangles or wedges. They reverse and they pop back up. Link is at $13.72. ADA, 43 cents. I think midnight is live if you guys want to claim that, the airdrop they have. And then HBAR is just kind of doing its thing. It had some nice movement, retesting the EMA 9, but we're just kind of chilling. And the local bottom right now is about 12 cents. So that's what's going on with the markets. Nothing too incredibly sexy, but we're here. JP Morgan also maintained Bitcoin's gold link target at $175,000. This came out on Friday. Cool. You know, it is what it is. Oh, it's in Espanol. Love it, love it, love it. Love it. So we'll see what happens. But we got another story over here. Adoption, ETFs, and public companies have more Bitcoin than exchanges. Of course they do. Because exchanges are just a vessel so that you can buy and sell Bitcoin in most cases, because nobody's doing P2P transactions anymore. And with that being said, the institutions are here, the big money is here, and these guys can continue to print money out of thin air for a very, 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 very long time. This comes from my buddies over Altcoin Daily, but Trump commits to signing landmark crypto market structure legislation this year. So that's coming. This was supposed to be 2025. But again, the Genius Act is pretty much live, which I'll probably do a second media on that because it's just too much to add into here today. But I also want to remind you that, where was it? White House advisor Hassett says Trump will announce huge positive economic news. And this is probably going to coincide with the Fed announcement. So that's coming soon. And I also saw we're doing like mini cars in the USA now, which I think is cool. This is the thing. We are in a recession. We have been in a recession. People are losing their minds over this right here. U.S. layoffs are set to surpass the Great Recession levels, on track to be the worst since the Great Depression. I'm going to come back to that because I'm going to explain a little bit more context. But anyways, I want to get into the crypto news. Some more SEC wins. We love Ellie. She's part of Crypto in America. Subscribe, support her, all kinds of stuff. I don't speak French. But the SEC ends 2-year investigation into Ondo, paving the way for U.S. expansion tokenized assets. Asset is kind of like a BlackRock adjacent product, focusing on tokenization. And it's going to be another one of those blue chips, in my personal opinion. So this is good moving forward. And it's nice to see the SEC dropping cases like this because it doesn't matter. They're irrelevant at this point. Like the SEC went after good actors, go after bad actors. Also, Zcash and privacy protocols face a do or die SEC meeting that determines if developers are personally liable for code. And this is because the Samurai wallets censoring is coming soon. I want to say it's the 19th. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But they're going to be meeting with the SEC on December 15th. And the good thing is they got Hester Peirce there. She is very, very supportive of crypto. Very, very, very supportive. And then Paul Atkins, same thing, because Paul Atkins also from the SEC came out and said that they're going to kind of omit DeFi from a lot of the regulation. Securitize, which is a BlackRock product that I covered. I told you guys this story. I posted it for you on Friday. Nobody watched the video, but they're like clapping back at the SEC. They're like, you need to regulate DeFi. And Paul Atkins is kind of like, I don't know if I want to regulate it or not. Like, it's supposed to be a true decentralized economy. So we'll see what happens with that. I hope they don't. But again, I think that it's important that Zcash and the privacy protocols are coming in. They're coming in doing what they're supposed to do. The panel includes developers, legal experts, and civil liberties advocates. And the speakers include developers at Zcash, Starkware, Allo, and the ACLU, and more. Roundtable hopefully will guide SEC rules for broker-dealers, ATSs in custody, and the outcome could define legal boundaries for privacy-focused devs. Hopefully the SEC does the right thing because code is speech. Bam, 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 bam. Now, a message from our sponsors today. Confidential Layer. Thank you so much to Confidential Layer for partnering with the O Show, everything crypto, every single day, because we like privacy on this channel. Because the hot narrative is privacy. So Confidential Layer is stepping into that space, letting users make their existing crypto fully private across multiple chains. So shout out to Confidential Layer for partnering with the O Show today. The links are going to be down below. You can follow them on X to learn more. Privacy is a hot narrative. It will continue to be a hot narrative. I'm not saying to do anything but to educate yourself and to read up on it. So confidential layer adds privacy to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana Base, and BNB chain and more while letting users keep their original assets. Privacy is important. This is why we focus on it. It's part of crypto. It's part of the ethos. And it supports cross-chain transfers and is live with major integrations. The protocol rewards stakers with a share of fees and runs daily buybacks, creating a strong value loop. This is the first privacy bridge of its kind with over 2.3 trillion in bridgeable assets, and you can start exploring the bridge now and earn rewards for being early. TGE for the new token is on December 10th, and the new token hashtag clone powers the bridge, shares protocol fees, and rewards stakers. Follow them on socials because you don't want to miss the announcement. And as always, privacy is very, 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 very important. Do what works for you. And I like that it's cross-chain. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, one of the things I want to pivot into next, do we have enough time? Yeah, let's pivot into what we can pay attention to this week. This is important, okay? Very, very, very important. Thank you to the 300 plus people watching me over on YouTube, 200 of you on the Tiki Takis, and I don't know what's going on next, but we're here, baby. We're here, baby. These are the key things that we need to pay attention to this week. JOLTS, job openings data Tuesday. The Fed interest rate Wednesday announcement. Fed Chair Powell conference Wednesday, OPEC monthly report Thursday, initial jobless claims Thursday, and U.S. 30-year bond auction Thursday. The third rate cut of 2025 is potentially coming this week. They haven't announced it if they're coming this week or not. So we'll see what's going on with that. But other than that, you guys, I've got to get going. This is a really busy week for Lo. She has her solo and her concert tomorrow. So I'm going to be cuckoo. Tomorrow's going to be a very, very short stream because we got to support our baby. Got to support my baby. And I'm also really hungry. I'm going to make a turkey burger with some eggs. I'm so hungry right now. But other than that, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that's subscribed to me on YouTube and on X and all those things right there. I appreciate you guys. Also, shout out to Gentopia Buds for being here and being a channel member. Who else? Also, shout out to Ireland. I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to Ireland and go in a castle and eat some Irish food. Who else? Oh, shout out to Mick. Hold them both. Why discriminate? Yeah, why? Why wouldn't you? Yep. He says that I can't say the country, Mick, but rates will look like they're going down to 3.75 on the 18th. Shout out to you. I hope it does. Queen is funny. But I need to go. I need to eat. Oh, what did I want to say? I wanted to say one more thing. I don't know. Sending you guys love and light. I gotta go. I need to eat.